Lesson plan-nya sangat-sangat bagus sekali, sangat membantu sekali. Karena memang juga jelas ini bagian mana partnya mana, misalnya menyimak atau berbicara. Dengan LMS ini sangat-sangat terbantu. Itu selalu anak-anak selalu minta, gitu masuk hari ini jadwalnya Atlas. Saya bilang iya, oke. Terus mau boleh nggak 10 menit di awal kami main penguin. Saya mainnya tidak hanya di sekolah tapi di rumah juga dia main. Karena dia sangat ini sekali menyenangkan sih menurut saya.
Maksudnya nggak ada yang jenuh gitu. Pas susah, bosan, nggak ada itu. Ya anak-anak semangat juga. Mereka harus mendengarkan dulu penjelasan gurunya baru mereka bisa ini. Jadi itu ada tantangan buat mereka untuk mencari tahu. Jadi lebih tertantang di buku Atlas ini.
Terlebih lagi kalau di buku itu kan kita tahu gambar-gambarnya yang menarik. Pas mereka bikin ekstrakurikuler yang gambar dan presentasikan, mereka malah nanya, "Sir, menurut Sir apa yang harusnya ada ekstrakurikuler di sini?" Jadi kita sharing. Itu pas.
Jadi guru itu harus ekstra sabar. Tidak jarang murid mengalami kesulitan, namun tidak berani bertanya.
Kadang capek dan bosan. Setiap sebelum ngajar harus buat dan update lesson plan. Ditambah lagi kemampuan dan kebutuhan siswa itu berbeda-beda. Harus ditanya satu persatu di mana permasalahannya. Tapi setelah saya mencoba pakai Atlas, motivasi belajar murid saya meningkat tajam. Karena selain memiliki buku interaktif dan LMS yang user-friendly, metode pembelajarannya juga menarik dan mudah dimengerti. Lalu saya merekomendasikan ke teman guru bahasa Inggris yang lain.
Atlas memang merupakan solusi yang selama ini saya cari. Kini, murid saya jadi jago berbahasa Inggris karena terus belajar dan praktek dengan video pembelajaran bahasa Inggris di rumah.
Syukur sekarang ada Atlas. Banyak pilihan metode ajar dan media pembelajaran up to date. Tanpa kursus, guru tenang, murid senang.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Nur Afrima dari SMP Model Ariyat Insan Cendekia Bekasi. Di sini saya mengajar bahasa Inggris. Kesan pertama menggunakan LMS Atlaz. Sangat penasaran dengan isi dari materi-materi yang diberikan oleh tim Atlaz dan juga
Bapak Ibu. Selamat siang untuk bagian Indonesia Barat dan selamat sore nih ya untuk Bapak Ibu semua yang ada di wilayah timur Indonesia. Yes, good afternoon everyone. Apa kabar Bapak Ibu semuanya? Semoga sehat-sehat selalu. Oke, baik. Ini sudah ada yang absen juga nih, sudah ada yang bukan absen ya, sudah ada yang mengetik perkenalan gitu ya di chat box. Thank you so much, terima kasih. So, Bapak Ibu semuanya, welcome to webinar Smartly Connected to the World, English Learning in Action, presented by Atlaz in collaboration with Intan Pariwara as our official partner to get your Atlaz products. I am Nadia Isnan. I will be the moderator for today's webinar. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu yang sudah bergabung. Tadi saya lihat ada Ibu Susana dari Pandeglang. Kita dekat nih Bu, karena Atlaz base-nya di Tangerang ya. Terus ada Bapak atau Ibu Agus Setiawati dari Sulawesi Barat. Salam kenal Ibu. Semuanya thank you so much. Ada Pak Dedi juga dari Kendari. Dan siapa lagi nih? Oke, ada Pak Halik dari Takalar. Terima kasih sudah bergabung Bapak Ibu semuanya. Dan jika Bapak Ibu bisa membuka kameranya, it's going to be great. Saya lihat ada Ibu Vinda juga, ada Ibu Hasrawati dari Makassar. Halo Ibu. Thank you. You look so fresh this afternoon. Oke, terima kasih Bapak Ibu semuanya. Nah, we are going to have an exciting and informative session today. Insya Allah hari ini kita akan bersama dengan dua speaker expert kita membahas tentang apa. Sebelum saya spill bahas tentang apa, oke, saya akan membacakan dulu beberapa informasi penting di event kali ini. Ya, yang pertama, nanti Bapak Ibu akan mendapatkan sertifikat, e-sertifikat yang nilainya sama dengan 2 JP gitu ya Bapak Ibu. Nah, sertifikatnya itu nanti dibagikan kepada Bapak Ibu paling lambat di hari Kamis tanggal 18 Januari 2024 jika Bapak Ibu sudah mengisi presensi yang akan dibagikan di akhir acara. Gitu ya. Nah, nanti di presensi itu Bapak Ibu akan mengisi 2 keywords. Nah, keywords-nya nanti akan dibocorkan oleh 2 pembicara kita, gitu ya, dari pembicara pertama dan pembicara kedua. Oke, nah baik Bapak Ibu semuanya, saya juga ingin memberitahu bahwa hari ini, acara ini bisa terlaksana sebagai first webinar di tahun 2024 dari Atlaz. Oke, nah webinar kali ini terlaksana dengan kolaborasi kita dengan Intan Pariwara yang merupakan distributor resmi dari Atlaz. Jadi kalau Bapak Ibu yang sedang berada di luar kota, luar daerah, dan pengen tahu tentang Atlaz, Bapak Ibu bisa menghubungi teman-teman Intan Pariwara yang ada di daerah, gitu ya. Baik, nah Bapak Ibu semuanya, selama nanti presentasi, jika ada kendala, bisa langsung ke chat box ya. Nanti akan dibantu oleh admin dan dibantu dengan Nadia juga. Baik. Nah, judul webinar kita hari ini adalah Smartly Connected to the World, English Learning in Action. Oke. Jadi, kita akan spill tentang apa hari ini? Nah, seperti yang Bapak Ibu tahu, di dalam broadcast yang dibagikan oleh Kak Maya bilang pemilu semakin dekat gitu ya, berita-berita hoax semakin mendesak kita semua. Oke, baik. Nah, itu yang akan kita kupas habis, bukan tentang pemilunya, tenang saja, oke. Tapi tentang bagaimana ya kita semua, Bapak Ibu di sini, dan saya juga itu bisa tahu dan bisa menjadi ya warga dan netizen yang lebih baik dalam menyerap informasi gitu ya. Karena ketika kita as a teacher ingin anak-anak murid kita bisa lebih oke dan bisa lebih mantap dalam penyerapan literasinya, tentu dimulai dari kita sendiri gitu ya. Nah, that's why hari ini kita akan bersama 2 speaker hebat kita. Yang pertama ada Ibu Nurul Azkiyah. Oke, ada Profesor Siti Nurul Azkiyah, M.Sc, Ph.D. Ibu, thank you so much for coming. Ibu Nurul ini merupakan Dekan Fakultas Ilmu Tarbiyah dan Keguruan UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta. Ibu, selamat sore.
Selamat sore Mbak Nadia dan Bapak
Oh,
Ibu semuanya. Senang sekali bisa ketemu dengan Bapak Ibu semua meskipun via Zoom ya.
benar-benar. Ibu, nih kemarin itu, Bu tiba-tiba ada salah seorang guru yang bilang gini, wah Ibu Nurul itu dulu dosen saya, gitu Bu. Jadi sepertinya kemarin apa namanya ibunya bilang langsung kayak excited untuk bisa join juga. Nah hari ini kita akan mendengarkan apa banyak sekali insight dari Ibu Nurul gitu ya. Kita berjumpa di sesi satu nanti ya Bu. Oke, thank you.
Ya,
Nah sekarang saya ingin juga menyampaikan bahwa hari ini kita akan bersama juga dengan our second speaker, yaitu Mr. Kevin Febryan as the Chief Product Officer of Atlaz. Jadi nanti di bagian Mr. Kevin kita bahas apa ya? Kita tanya-tanya nih. Halo Mr. Kevin.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm great. What about you?
I'm great too. Can't wait to share with everybody here.
All right. Okay, so where's Mr. Kevin? Wait a second. I need to spotlight you. Okay, there you go. All right.
So,
Hi Mr.
can you guys
Kevin.
see me now? Hi, Miss Nurul. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Is it our
Yes,
connection,
that's our
perhaps?
connection. Okay. Okay. So, yes. Oke, thank you so much Mr. Kevin. Nanti kita akan bertemu dengan Mr. Kevin di sesi kedua ya Bapak Ibu semuanya. Okay, so I also would like to greet our participants, the teachers who have joined on our YouTube. Yes, jadi ada beberapa Bapak Ibu juga nih yang joinnya melalui YouTube karena sinyal dan sebagainya gitu ya. Jadi saya mau cek-cek dulu. Nah, di sini ada Ibu dari Sukabumi, ya Ibu Winda, ya, terus ada Ibu Pinkan dan lain-lain nih. Terima kasih sudah berhadir Bapak Ibu semuanya. Nah, sekarang ya mungkin ini waktunya kita memulai sesi pertama kita. Jadi Bapak Ibu yang baru bergabung boleh bantu Nadia untuk mengganti namanya menjadi nama kemudian asal daerah ya supaya nanti Nadia bisa tahu nih Bapak Ibu dari mana asalnya. Oke. Baik, now I think it is time for us to have our first session dengan speaker pertama kita. Anyway, Bapak Ibu semuanya, jadi Atlaz itu juga baru berkenalan nih dengan Ibu Nurul. Berkenalannya itu kemarin karena Ibu Nurul baru saja dikukuhkan nih ya, Bu ya. Oke. So, we also would like to say congratulations dan terima
Thank you,
kasih.
Mbak Nadia.
Juga terima kasih juga sudah berhadir dan mau meluangkan waktu bersama kita. So without any further ado, yes, let's meet our first speaker, Ibu Siti Nurul Azkiyah. The floor is yours, Ibu.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Nadia. So good afternoon, everyone. It's and also Mr. Kevin. It's an honor for me to be here to share some ideas and of course also to meet everyone. Okay, so let me share my screen. Wait a minute. So, as you can see from the title, this is also actually the topic which I proposed to Mbak Nadia because I think we all aware that we are going to have our general election very soon, and I think it's wise and it could be useful for us if we talk about this topic, yeah. And I think Atlaz has an excellent idea to propose and to cover this topic into connected to the world, yeah. So smartly connected to the world. So we have to be smart in connecting ourselves to our world, yeah. Especially right now, I think we are all aware that we are in the advanced technological development where we can see any news and informations, whatever they're happening here in Indonesia and also in other countries as well through technology. And in that way, then we are being connected with the others. But of course, it's not without problems when we are connected to the world. And I think when it happens to our children, of course, we need to equip them with some capacities to enable them to decide which ones to follow, which one is correct, which one is wise, and which ones are not. I think we have seen from the news, so many problems that our kids, our students face dealing with so many informations they can easily access. But how can they evaluate? How can they build their critical thinking, and how can they value which platform, which types of media they can trust? And that's why I think, yes, it's relevant to discuss about media and information literacy. So also thank you, Atlaz, for inviting me and also for giving me the chance, the opportunity to share with everyone about a topic which I think is important and also could be beneficial to our students. And I think we all agree that we should develop our students' critical thinking from the very beginning. Also, I think if we refer to the results of PISA, I think we know PISA, right? Program for International Student Assessment, where our country has been rated like number 4, 5, or 6 from the bottom, Although in this year, we just got a release of the results of PISA for 2021 or 22, I forgot. But and we have seen some improvement of our students' literacy. But of course, if we compare to our neighbors like Malaysia or Morocco with Singapore, of course, we have to admit that we are still left behind. And one of the key skills that our students need to develop is, of course, literacy. So, okay. So just to start our discussions, I'd like everyone to think of one-word answers for each of the questions. The first is, how would you describe yourself? Oh, I don't develop like a Kahoot quiz or whatever. So I think we can use, sorry, I don't have the time to do it. So, but if you can just write in the chat box, then I think we know, like, how would you describe yourself in one word? So I'll give you like 1 or maybe just 1 minute or a few seconds, on how you describe yourself. And let me see what has been there in the chat box. Interesting, okay. Amazing. Attractive, sweet, okay, that's very nice. Open-minded person, that's very good. Energetic, enthusiastic, amazing, productive. Oh, wow. I really like to read these words, Open-minded, amazing, according to my son, energetic, okay. Okay, too energetic, easygoing. Pinter banget, Bu, cara bahasa Inggrisnya. Okay, interesting, lovable. Wow, nice. Easygoing. Very interesting. Ada nggak yang smart? Okay. Okay. Well, introvert. Okay, let me go to the next question, because I have another question with only one word answers. So why did you become a teacher? Yes, and I'll look at the chat box. Okay, Mira's perfectionist. This is the answer for the first question. Yes. And now, why did you become a teacher? I love teaching. Okay, because I like teaching. Okay, very good. I love teaching. Okay, so I believe many of you love teaching. based on my educational background and passion. Okay, it's my calling to be a teacher, patience. Okay, I love teaching. I like learning and sharing knowledge. Okay, enjoy teaching. I love a teacher. Okay, nggak ada yang terpaksa jadi guru ya Bapak Ibu ya. Because I teach at the Faculty of Educational Sciences here in my university, and once we did a survey on why did they enroll into our faculty, and I have seen some of them accidentally enrolled into our faculty, which means that not all of them wanted to become teachers from the very beginning. So when I see these responses, I'm very happy to see that many of you, and I believe all of the participants here, all of you love teaching. Yeah. So then I think it's very wise decisions for all of you to participate in these sessions, because you will get some ideas on how you can deliver better instructions. Yeah, from not only from us, not only from me and from Mr. Kevin. I think we actually also learn from each other. Okay. Okay, so your idol, your favorite teacher is your English teacher. That's why you want to become also English teachers. Okay. Quite similar to me. Yeah? I love English from very beginning. And I also, one of my favorite teachers was also my English teachers as well. Okay, now my last question. So what is one thing that you hope to learn or discuss from this session? So it's like for me to understand you better, although I can only see some of your faces. It's not possible to see all of your faces here on the screen. So it's like a way for me to understand the participants in this session. So at least I have some ideas on who you are. So Bapak Ibu, what is one thing you hope to learn or to discuss from these sessions? Okay, knowledge and new experience. Understanding, okay. Teaching is precious professions, increasing of teaching for student literacy, okay. Get new knowledge, how to understand students, okay. Learning how to use media in teaching English, okay. New method in teaching English, more accent in speaking, reading, okay. To learn to teach English effectively, okay. Increasing students' literacy in smart way, okay. Knowledge, okay. So you can have so many reasons, yeah, to join these sessions, and hopefully then we can meet your expectations, yeah. And I think Atlaz, well, although I just knew Atlaz, but I'm pretty sure Atlaz can also learn from all of you, and then they can respond. I think Mr. Kevin later on will talk about how or in what way Atlaz can provide your expectations, yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you, Bapak Ibu, how to manage your class, creating nice atmosphere in the teaching environment. Okay, thank you very much for sharing who you are and also your expectations from these sessions. Okay, unfortunately, I won't have a lot of time to read everything. So then now let me go back to my slide and let me continue with the next slide. So what will we discuss? So we are going to understand what is actually media and information literacy. And well, we already had the introductions before, yeah, and why is it important? And of course, the most important thing is how can we bring it into our English classroom, yeah. And I will give the floor on this to Mr. Kevin, but I will also suggest a few ideas on how we can bring the idea of media and information literacy in the classroom, especially for English classes. Yeah. So just to start, Bapak Ibu, what do you know about media and information literacy? I think you have heard the word literacy very often. You also have heard media and information. Now, when we combine those words together, media and information literacy, what do you have in your mind? So like write some keywords that you think are related to media and information literacy. You don't have to think of like the whole concept of media and information literacy, but just identify some keywords that you think are related to media and information literacy. Yes, Bapak Ibu, again, you can just write in the chat box, and then I'm going to read your keywords. But Nadia has announced before that she would ask some keywords, and maybe she provides some, I don't know, door prizes or whatever. Okay, let me see what have been there. Okay, social media, facts, news, important things, and hoax. Okay. Authentic material in teaching to improve their skill. News is one of literacy media. Okay. Comment the news, news, hoax, information is true, fact. Okay. Social media is more important. Okay. Let's wait. Knowledge. Okay. We're still waiting. Okay. Worldwide and informations, Wall Magazine, digital literacy. Okay. Okay. Social media like LinkedIn for searching work. Okay. Okay. Digital message. Yes. Magazine or news. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I think what you have mentioned are some of the important keywords related to media and information's literacy. So, oops. Now, if we refer to this, wait a minute. So we refer to the Article 19 of the Universal Declarations of Human Rights, and everyone has the right of freedom of opinion and expressions. And this right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek to receive and impart informations and ideas through any media, regardless of frontiers. So like everyone has the right to express their opinion, to have access to any informations, and also to communicate the informations they have to others, regardless of a lot of aspects. So because of this, that's why then, as I said to you earlier, right now our students can easily have access to any kind of informations, and of course it's if we compare to our era, my era, I'm old enough. Like I was born in the late 70s, so you can imagine, it was not easy to have access to any information during my era, which is very much different from the current situations where students can have so many informations, and in a way it can provide positive things, because then they know a lot, but at the same time they can be very confused on how to decide which one to follow and which one to leave behind. So in this case, then media and information literacy skills could be very useful to help them to have some exercises on this right, and also these skills can provide them with how then they should access, process, and also use informations. And so this is the concept or the definitions of media and information literacy according to UNESCO. So this is an umbrella term that encompasses various and evolving competencies or skills required to navigate to this increasingly complex communications environment. I think, yes, it's quite complex because there are so many informations, there are so many platforms, there are so many choices. And when we have so many choices, Bapak Ibu, what could happen? When we are adults, I think we have the capacities like on how to decide which one to follow and which one just to leave it. But what about our kids? What about our generations? They can be easily influenced by a lot of things, a lot of factors. They have like their own arguments and reasons why they follow certain things. And it's possible, yeah, if they don't have the critical thinking, yeah, it can negatively affect their decisions, right? So MIL, so yeah, in a short way, we can call media and information literacy as MIL, empowers citizens with critical thinking and other necessary competencies to enable their informed and ethical engagement with the integrations of content, institutions, providing content, to produce and share their own content and also digital technology. So basically, with MIL, we want to equip our students with the necessary tools which will enable them to critically use and evaluate and produce informations. So that's the idea. And of course, in our English classes, then this is something which we can use as a medium to develop these skills. So before I ask you to indicate the key terms, yeah, the key terms related to media and information literacy. So key skills of MIL broadly can be divided into three: information literacy, media literacy, and digital literacy. I think you have heard these three broad area of MIL skills, tapi mungkin kemarin mungkin tidak membungkusnya ke dalam satu area MIL, tapi saya kira kita semua sudah pernah mendengarkan apa itu information literacy, media literacy, apalagi digital literacy ya. Saya kira Bapak Ibu pasti sudah sering mendengar digital literacy. So concerning information literacy is like define and articulate informations, locate and access informations. Kalau mau cari informasi itu kita sebaiknya dari mana, sumber dari mana yang bisa kita percaya gitu ya. And then assess informations, organize informations, also make ethical use of informations, communicate informations, use ICT skills for information processing gitu ya. Lalu terkait dengan media literacy, it starts from understanding the role and functions of media, the internet communications companies in democratic societies, or understand the conditions under which media can fulfill their functions, critically evaluate media content in the light of media functions, or engage with media for self-expressions and democratic participations, also review skills. Lalu terkait dengan digital literacy, as you can see, use of digital tools, understand digital identity, recognize digital rights, assess AI issues, because right now we are living together with AI. I think all of us have been familiar with AI. Bapak Ibu ada yang sudah menggunakan ChatGPT, Bapak Ibu? Sudah pasti ya? And ChatGPT has been used quite extensively, quite frequently in some other countries, like in the US. I know some schools already use ChatGPT for educations, but of course, you know, you have to wisely understand in what way can we use ChatGPT, because we cannot rely only on machine, of course, yeah. Also how we can improve how to communicate digitally and manage digital health, also practice digital security and safety. So these are some, or these are the key skills or the areas covered by media and information literacy. But if I can like summarize, yeah, so MIL deals with, you know, educating different categories of society, children, young people, and also adults as well, in both formal and informal settings, to critically and concisely access, consume, communicate, evaluate, and also produce mediated messages. And of course, in order to do this, we need to have various skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, autonomy, communications, and also participations. And I think, well, last time I have seen Mr. Kevin's, I like sneaking Mr. Kevin's presentations, and I think he will also be dealing with these skills as well. So now, for instance, if we look at this, yeah, so I think we cannot deny the development of technology. We just have to live together with technology. But the question is, how can we use technology, especially in the context of educations, and more specifically in the context of English classroom? Yeah. So is it well, we can view this in terms of the challenges and opportunities there. Yes, in a way, it's also a challenge for teachers on how to use technology in the classroom. But in another way, it can also it offers opportunities for both teachers and students to learn and to provide authentic and meaningful experiences for the students to learn English. Okay, now if we also look at this, so the top 10 skills on the rise, which, well, this comes from World Economic Forum Future Jobs Reports 2023. So these are some of the, well, the 10 top skills which our graduates will need in order to enter the job market. Yeah, so creative thinking, analytical thinking, technological literacy, curiosity and lifelong learning, resilience, flexibility, and agility. Well, if we talk about resilience, I think a lot of our students right now, they are very fragile. I mean, if we compare to like in my era, for instance, yeah, we have the nature of being tough because of the situations. But right now, the students are provided with a lot of easy things. And in that way, of course, they want to get something easily. But it's not always the case, yeah, in our real life. And then systems thinking, this is like, connections or collaborations. It's very important for our students to develop their collaborative skills. And AI and big data, because yeah, we live in a very complex era with a lot of data, and I think with the development of technology, it can be helpful for us. But of course, yes, we need to understand this technological development. And then motivations and self-awareness. I think this is also related with self-regulated learning. So how can we regulate ourselves, yeah, in this complex and more complex world. And we also have the talent management. We need to have the skills in how we can manage a lot of things in our life. Yeah. Also service orientations and customers. Yeah, because we have different characteristics of customers right now, and satisfactions is like the most important factor which our customers will think first when they choose, any services they want to. So of course, then we as educators, English teachers, we need to consider these in our classrooms. Yeah. This doesn't mean that we want to give you more burden, but these are things which we should identify which skills we can also contribute in developing in our English classrooms. How many more minutes do I have, Mbak Nadia?
Okay, Ibu, you still have like that's okay, 15 minutes.
Okay, maybe I will just, yes. Okay, so so now, given what I just discussed with you, and also given the required skills which our graduate will need based on the survey of the World Economic Forum, for instance. Yeah, so I think MIL is relevant. Yeah, so MIL can contribute to fostering intercultural dialogue, because we in our world right now we are facing diversity, and of course respect. Being able to wisely communicate with others, we need to understand who our audience are and what kind of characteristics do they have and how can we respect them. Okay, and then I think gender equality is also something important, although right now I can see that there has been very good advancements in terms of gender equality. Like right now, for instance, I happen to be the dean of the Faculty of Educational Sciences here in my university, and it's also part of the a way of providing opportunity for both male and female. So it doesn't have to be male to be like the leader of an institution. Yeah, we also have proven that female can also be a leader, but of course we need to make sure that the quality is also there as well. So it shouldn't be the gender as the criteria, but it's the quality which everyone, both male and female, can have access to that to key positions in any structure. And also in accessing informations, I think we need to develop the skills to our students on how they can access informations, because especially if we refer to our students in the rural area, I think they still have some challenges in how to access informations. And it's also part of our contributions as well to enable them to have access to informations and also to have the freedom to express their ideas. But of course, yes, again, we need to be careful as well in how we can express our ideas wisely without apa namanya ya, tidak menimbulkan kegelisahan di masyarakat begitu ya, dan tidak menimbulkan, well, I think it's very important to actually build peace in our community through the way how we communicate gitu ya. And of course, we should also contribute in sustainable development, because now we are in the era of achieving sustainable development goals. And as educators, we also have to contribute in that particular context as well. And also, we are right now live in a digital society where we can have, as I said to you earlier, and as we have been aware, we have been experiencing ourselves, we live in an increasingly digital society. And I think Mbak Nadia has mentioned before, and it has been written as well in the flyer, that our country will soon face general elections. And I'm sure we will be bombarded with so many informations. And I said to you, as I said to you earlier, as adult, okay, we are mature enough to decide which information to follow. But with our students, we really have to equip them with, some skills, some critical skills, which will enable them to decide wisely which informations to follow. So that's actually like, the main questions which we should raise now, especially like next month. It's exactly next month. We are going to have the general elections. So, Bapak Ibu, referring to the key skills of MIL, which ones do you feel the most confident in? So, and also, which one do you think your students will need to develop? I'm going to go back to this one. So, if you look at this, which one do you think you feel you are confident in using or in understanding? And which ones do you think your students will need to develop in your classroom? Again, you can write in the chat box. Maybe you can just refer one by one. So first, let's start with which skills. You can identify either each skill in each box, or you can also identify in terms of the three broad skills: information literacy, media literacy, or digital literacy. So it's up to you. Information literacy, okay. What about others? Okay, media literacy, information literacy. If you want to be more specific, you can go to like each box in the information literacy or media literacy or digital literacy. That's also fine. Communicate informations, okay. Media literacy. Okay. Well, it's quite, I mean, like I have seen information literacy and media literacy. Okay. Media literacy, yeah. Okay. Use of digital tools, okay. Okay. So, okay, media literacy, yeah. Critically evaluate media content in the light of media functions. Okay. Or use of digital tools. So these are the areas where you are confident in, yeah. What about the skills which you think your students need to develop most in the classroom? Do you have the same answers or do you have the different answers with the area where you are confident? So now we are moving to the second question, yeah. Which skill or which specific skills do you think your students need to develop through your English classroom? Okay. Access all issues or AI or all IT, okay. Manage digital health. Yes, I think many students, they carelessly use their device. I also have observed from my son as well. Like children right now, like look, they stay on the screen for quite long with very close distance, and of course it's negatively affect their health. Okay, speaking skill. Okay, use ICT for information processing. Okay. Okay, well, yeah, basically you have a diverse answers, yeah. Okay. Oops. Okay, now, well, I know you have different answers, and of course, then we will try to provide like different responses. Yeah, I hope later Mr. Kevin can also cover this part, but I would like to give you like some some possible ideas, yeah, to get there. I think I have also I have read before, yeah, you mentioned about hoax, yeah, and I think if we relate this with our general elections, it's very important to actually differentiating between fact and opinion. So how can we identify fact and opinion? Well, I give you some of the examples of statements in Bahasa Indonesia, but oops, oh, I wanted to get removed of this. Okay, so now if I hope you can also later like take some examples in English, yeah. But I just used some of my slides, yeah, which I have presented before, to be honest, because I didn't have a lot of time to prepare. So, for instance, sudah terlalu banyak manusia di bumi. Do you think it's an opinion or it's a fact? If you want to say something, Bapak Ibu, you can open your mic. But if you, okay, Bu Ida, raise your hand. Do you want to say something?
Okay, Wida, I already opened up your microphone.
Okay,
So
I
what do
just
you
want
think
to
about
know.
the first sentence?
Yeah, I think sudah terlalu banyak manusia di bumi is an opinion.
Okay,
Only
why, Ibu? Why it is an opinion, Ibu?
because there is no like a source
Okay.
of informations like a data or
Right.
number.
Oke. Yes, oke, ya. Satu, nggak ada datanya, dua, nggak ada referensinya juga gitu ya, menurut siapa
Yeah,
gitu ya. Meskipun
yeah,
menurut siapapun juga we can consider, well, of course it's an
yeah.
opinion because it's not supported with data ya. Now, if you take a look at the second one, berdasarkan catatan Komnas Perempuan, angka kekerasan di dalam rumah tangga pada 2015 meningkat sebesar 9% dibandingkan pada tahun 2014. Is it a fact or is it an opinion? Well, I'm asking to the whole participants ya. I mean, it's not only to Bu Ida. Ini facts or opinion? The second statement. Oh, ada yang menjawab di chat? Nomor 2,
Yeah, a lot of them answered it.
fact.
A lot
Oke,
of
kenapa
the
fact?
teacher answer on the chat box, Ibu.
Yes, fact. Oke. Kenapa fakta? Why did you consider this as a fact? It has data. Oke, ya ada datanya. Oke. Although it will need, well, we know the data comes from Komnas Perempuan ya, but if we want to use, if we want to ethically use informations, we need to have the reference, like the complete reference. Oke. The third one, semakin mendekati hari pelaksanaan pemilihan umum, biasanya black campaign semakin gencar dilakukan oleh oknum-oknum yang tidak bertanggung jawab. Is it a fact or opinion? An opinion. Opinion, no data. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you can identify which one fact and which one opinion. But of course, with your students, you need to let them know how to identify a fact and an opinion. Cristiano Ronaldo adalah pemain terbaik sepanjang masa. Is it a fact or an opinion? Opinion. Okay. Cristiano Ronaldo memenangkan 5 gelar Liga Champion. A fact. Karena ini ya, 5 gelar champion. But of course you will need to have the reference ya. But yes, it has data in it, and if it's proven, then of course it's a fact. Surabaya bukan tempat yang nyaman untuk ditinggali. Opinion. Oke. Surabaya adalah ibu kota Jawa Timur. A fact. Kebenaran yang nggak bisa dibantah itu soalnya ya. So of course ya, in your case you are all adult. Tapi kira-kira with this, can you teach this in your English classes, Bapak Ibu? Yes, okay. But of course you can differentiate in terms of the level ya. Untuk anak-anak SD kira-kira contoh-contoh seperti apa nih yang bisa dipakai untuk differentiating between fact and opinion ya. Okay, I will run very quickly ya, because I don't think I still have a lot of time. Ini satu contoh paragraf ini ya. Saya rasa penggunaan teknologi di kelas-kelas sekolah seharusnya ditingkatkan. Dengan memanfaatkan perangkat digital seperti tablet atau laptop, siswa dapat lebih aktif dan terlibat dalam pembelajaran. Ini tidak hanya membuat proses belajar lebih menarik, tetapi juga mempersiapkan mereka untuk tuntutan dunia kerja yang semakin canggih. Saya yakin bahwa integrasi teknologi dalam pendidikan akan membantu menciptakan generasi yang lebih sebentar, karena ketutup sama ini ya, menghadapi tantangan masa depan. Kira-kira kalau ini untuk anak SMA ini ya, paragraf yang seperti ini paragraf yang isinya adalah argumen, opini, atau fakta, atau seperti apa Bapak Ibu? Opinion ya. So I think you can also ask your students like to develop their opinion gitu ya. Gimana caranya? Nah itu that's what you need to also teach to your students gitu ya. Tetapi opini pasti akan lebih kuat ketika dilengkapi dengan data ya. Oke, ini ada satu contoh lagi. Seiring dengan perkembangan teknologi, jumlah pengguna internet di seluruh dunia terus meningkat. Menurut data terbaru, pada tahun 2022, lebih dari 60% populasi dunia telah mengakses internet secara reguler. Dengan adanya akses internet yang semakin meluas, komunikasi antar negara dan pertukaran informasi global menjadi lebih mudah. Selain itu, peningkatan konektivitas ini juga berdampak positif pada pertumbuhan ekonomi, memfasilitasi perdagangan internasional, dan inovasi di berbagai sektor. Nah, coba kalau ini gimana nih Bapak Ibu? Kalau dibandingin dengan yang sebelumnya tadi, kalau kita lihat nih ya, seiring dengan perkembangan teknologi, jumlah pengguna internet di seluruh dunia terus meningkat. Ini opini atau fakta Bapak Ibu? Fakta ya. Fakta atau opini? Kalau digabungkan gitu ya, artinya ini sebenarnya ya kita mengatakan ini satu konklusi gitu ya kalau saya melihatnya. Terus meningkat. Kenapa kita bisa mengatakan terus meningkat? Nah, karena menurut data terbaru, nah ini ya, lebih dari 60% populasi ini sebenarnya mungkin akan lebih baik kalau ditambah dengan data di tahun sebelumnya. Jadi kita bisa melihat apa namanya? So we can know why we say that it's continuously increasing. Mestinya mungkin disebutin tahun 2021-nya berapa atau tahun 2020-nya berapa. Jadi trennya kelihatan gitu ya. And then like dengan adanya akses internet ini berarti kan ada proyeksi gitu ya. Ya ini when we want to develop like argumentative type of writing, what do we need to have? What kind of structure do we need to have gitu ya so that we can produce sound argument. Kira-kira begitu ya. Nah, ini contoh-contoh aja gitu ya how we can develop critical thinking in use of sources, use of informations in our English classroom ya. Sedikit lagi, ini I come to like the end of my slides ya. Projects requiring students to carry out research gitu ya. Nah, itu sangat penting sekarang ya, apalagi kita dengan we have kurikulum merdeka where project based learning has been heavily introduced. Jadi ya project-projectnya itu project yang bisa projects that require our students to read a lot, to carry out research. Risetnya itu riset kan bisa macam-macam ya Bapak Ibu, bisa desk research where in which they try to find relevant informations and then develop synthesis and then develop the end product of the project gitu ya. So carry out research ini bisa ya access and use informations ethically. Artinya we need to provide some criteria informasi dari sumber yang mana sih sebenarnya yang bisa dipercaya. So reliable sources to find informations misalnya. Apakah lembaganya harus kredibel misalnya gitu ya. Jadi nggak asal dari mana ini sumbernya gitu, dari sumber-sumber yang misalnya kalau if we talk about newspapers misalnya, we can suggest them like to find information from credible sources like national newspapers like Kompas or Republika or apa ya, dibandingkan misalnya surat kabar yang apa ya yang tidak cukup kredibel sebenarnya untuk dibaca gitu ya. Apalagi kalau sumbernya ini sumber-sumber online yang tidak jelas. Nah, itu yang mungkin perlu kita waspadai gitu ya, sehingga anak-anak kita juga punya akses informasi yang bukan sumbernya dari TikTok gitu misalnya, dari channel YouTube yang sumber orangnya juga nggak jelas gitu ya. Nah, itu juga menjadi hal-hal yang mungkin perlu kita sampaikan. So, thank you very much for listening, and I hope I meet your expectations. And hopefully we can have brief discussions after this. Yeah, I hope I still have the time to do it.
Yes, Ibu
Thank
Nurul,
you,
thank
Mbak
you.
Nadia.
Yes, thank you so
You're
much
most welcome.
for giving so many insight. And of course, at the end, you also give us some kind of examples or activities, dan itu sangat praktikal, bisa langsung dipakai gitu ya, dan diaplikasikan oleh Bapak Ibunya. Dan ternyata tadi Ibu Nurul juga membagikan nih ada key skill-nya dari MIL tadi ya Bu ya. Jadi itu tuh Bapak Ibu ternyata saya baru tahu nih bahwa ternyata informasi literasi dan media literasi itu bukan hanya sekadar kita mengetahui medianya, mengetahui jenis-jenis newsnya gitu, tapi ada bagian-bagian lagi yang kecil gitu yang ternyata tuh bisa kita kuasai pelan-pelan ya Bu ya. Oke, nah it is time for us dan untuk Bapak Ibu boleh bertanya kepada Ibu Nurul langsung bisa dengan raise hand or you can actually text gitu ya, chat langsung, ketik di dalam chat box nih Bapak Ibu gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya Bapak Ibu ingin bertanya boleh langsung raise hand, nanti bisa dibantu oleh admin untuk bisa open up kamera dan juga microphone gitu. Nih, oke. Apakah ada Bapak Ibu yang masih belum jelas nih kira-kira gimana ya? Atau kira-kira eh, implementasinya kalau saya as a teacher atau mungkin boleh ya Bu ya konsultasi. Nah, kayak mungkin Ibu Nurul bisa
Boleh, boleh,
bantu
boleh.
nih. Kalau ada Bapak Ibu yang kesulitan apa, bagian apa dari key skill-nya mungkin gitu kan. Nah, ini saya juga melihat di YouTube, Bapak Ibunya juga actively answer the question, Bu. Ada yang bilang tadi pada bagian fact and opinion juga bergabung nih teman-teman di YouTube ya. Oke, nah Bapak Ibu, it's time, boleh kalau ingin bertanya raise your hand. Biasanya Bapak Ibunya nih harus dipancing dulu dengan pertanyaan. Oke, nah tidak perlu dipancing, udah ternyata Ibu Suhartini, Ibu Tri Suhartini bertanya nih Bu. Okay. How to tackle the massive hoax information which can be really confusing to the students while learning, even me as the teacher, to
Okay.
reconfirmation for the real information at once. Oke, dari Ibu Tri Suhartini. Semoga saya benar ya Bu pelafalan nama Ibu. Oke, terima kasih. Silakan Ibu Nurul.
Langsung dijawab ya. Oke. Okay, thank you very much for the question. I really like this the question, yeah, and I think it's also very relevant to our situations. Sebenarnya ada beberapa worksheet ya yang bisa dipakai, cuman tadi ya I don't really have the time to introduce the worksheet ya. For instance, I have a worksheet called bukan saya ya, tapi artinya yang pernah saya pelajari gitu ya. Like a journalist worksheet. So like a journalist worksheet itu di situ isinya itu sebenarnya menanyakan ini informasi yang ada itu apa, seperti apa informasinya, kemudian sumbernya dari mana, seberapa kredibel sebenarnya sumber ini, dan kemudian apakah kita bisa membandingkan dengan sumber yang lain, dan apakah informasinya memang mirip-mirip atau bertentangan justru begitu ya. Nah, itu ada beberapa indikator yang kemudian bisa kita pakai untuk membantu kita untuk bisa to decide whether this is actually hoax or the right one. So we need to have like different sources to confirm before we can decide whether this is hoax or not gitu ya. Itu nih paling tidak apa message-nya, dari sumber mana, apakah kita bisa tahu reviewnya gitu ya, misalnya sumber ini nih seberapa kredibel gitu ya. And I think with the use of technology we can trace, we can also look at the reviews. Itu sama kayak kita mau beli barang gitu ya, mau beli laptop ini karena we have so many choices. Mau beli handphone aja nih ya Bapak Ibu ya, kemarin misalnya memutuskan untuk memilih, mungkin ada yang pakai Samsung, ada yang pakai iPhone gitu ya. And you know, when you have so many choices, what kind of considerations do you actually use to finally decide, okay, I'll pick this one. So that's also what you can also teach to your students. What kind of considerations should we have gitu ya. Mungkin kalau kita beli ya bisa jadi mungkin pertimbangan utamanya kalau nggak ketersediaan uang, kualitas, kegunaan gitu ya. Nah, itu sebenarnya saya beberapa indikator yang bisa kita gunakan. So with our kids, semakin kecil kita mungkin memilihnya, kalian tuh pengen makan apa? Misalnya ini ya, pengen jajannya tuh jajan apa sih gitu ya. Dari hal-hal yang sederhana. Atau misalnya mau minum aja nih misalnya, itu juga bisa menjadi, sebenarnya we can also develop our students critical thinking from choosing certain things in their closest environment, and in that way like we can explore what are the reasons, what kind of considerations should we have when before we actually decide yang mana nih yang finally kita ambil misalnya. Itu satu hal yang sebenarnya personal, tapi we also have to develop our critical thinking in that particular aspek gitu ya. Oh itu deh ya. Iya kadang saya tanya ke temen, malah dibilang hoax beritanya, padahal udah seneng dengar kabarnya. Ini mungkin gini ya, kabar-kabar, oh gaji guru mau naik gitu ya. Oh ini hoax apa beneran ini ya? Soalnya di berita ini, pemerintah katanya mau menaikkan gaji gitu, tapi ternyata kok, nah itu mungkin kita perlu tanya gitu, kalau ada kita punya temen yang kebetulan punya posisi tertentu di kementerian yang artinya kita punya sumber ya apa ya, punya sumber yang ada usaha yang kita lakukan untuk bisa melakukan konfirmasi gitu ya. Ya memang itu ada seni-seninya ya, artinya ada seni-seninya itu effortnya mungkin nggak cuma satu atau dua, tapi ada beberapa yang bisa kita lakukan. And in that way, I think being here, we stay connected, we smartly connected to each other. It's also a way to actually build our sensitivity, also build our critical thinking, build our community to help each other. Itu ya. Tapi memang betul bahwa itu memerlukan effort, iya gitu. Gitu Bapak Ibu. I know it's not that easy ya. Nah, kita aja bingung apalagi anak-anak kita. Kita bisa membayangkan gitu ya. Kita dengan we've developed some experience, we've developed our knowledge, our skills, going through from one stage to other stages, we are still confused. So we really have to help our students. Tapi ya ketika kita membantu students, kitanya juga jangan bingung gitu ya kan, kalau kita bingung gimana anak-anak kita gitu. So I think what we can develop in ourselves is also like being open-minded and learn. We can also learn from our students, and we can start from our closest environment gitu ya. Maksud saya itu tadi, kita bisa ketika kita mau memilih menggunakan, mau naik bus apa mau naik kereta apa mau naik motor gitu ya, pergi dari satu tempat ke tempat lain, itu apa sih yang membuat kita memutuskan menggunakan itu misalnya. So in that way we actually develop our own awareness of reasons gitu ya. Itu kita bisa mulai dari hal-hal yang kecil sebenarnya. Gitu kira-kira Mbak Nadia.
Oke. Oke, thank you so much Ibu Nurul. Ini sepertinya tadi juga Ibu Tris juga sekalian curhat ya Bu ya. Kadang udah seneng gitu, ternyata hoax gitu. Oke Ibu, ini last question. Ada yang mau bertanya, Ibu Kamisna dari Parepare. Wah, dari Sulawesi ya Ibu ya. Luar biasa. Halo Ibu.
Selamat sore.
Selamat sore. Silakan Ibu. Kayak ini
Okay,
bertanya
thank you
langsung.
for understanding me. For the first to introduce my name, Vanessa from Parepare. This time I will ask something because as a teacher sometimes we have a difficult teaching in the class. My student always ask all of my question when I see that busy in the class, I will make interest in the class. So I difficult to make the best situation in the classroom. Maybe this is the time how to manage the class or make me enjoy to teach in the classroom. Just that for me. Thank you.
Oke. Thank you Ibu Kamisna. Alright, ini Ibu, memang biasanya webinar itu jadi salah satu ajang curhat para Bapak Ibu juga, ya Ibu Nurul. Jadi thank you so much Ibu Kamisna for being here, dan thank you for sharing also your experiences. Jadi the question is about how to enjoy teaching itself, Ibu ya. If I'm not mistaken, oke. Karena tadi seperti pertanyaan Ibu Nurul di awal, mengajar tuh kenapa? Nah, Mungkin ini salah satunya. Oke,
Iya.
silakan Ibu Nurul. Aku nge-lag ya.
Iya, mungkin ini ya. Jadi kita sendiri sebagai guru juga ternyata kita membutuhkan motivations from others ya on how we can develop. Okay, I'll see it as how we can develop our or how we can continuously develop our teaching capacity so that we enjoy teaching activities, sharing with students. I think first you can also reflect gitu ya. Why did you or what could be the benefits? What could be the advantages of being a teacher? So in my case, for instance, yes, I love meeting students. I love also learning because being a teacher somehow forces us to always learn, to make us updated with so many development. So in that way, I like it. I mean, I like to develop myself. And if I work as not as a teacher, I may not have the driving force to always improve myself. Okay. And also being a teacher, in my case, also it's a way for me to also educate my own children. Yeah, although it's not easy. It's always not easy to actually deal with our own children because normally we have higher expectations with our own children rather than with our students. So we can get angry easily if we see like our kids. In my case ya, kalau saya tuh lebih tidak sabar menghadapi anak sendiri daripada menghadapi murid saya gitu. Jadi itu apa ya, menjadi bagian dari passion sebenarnya. Tadi Bapak Ibu banyak yang menyebutkan bahwa you love teaching, it's your passion, it's also related to your educational background gitu ya. Tapi somehow mungkin when we see situations where we think like mau begini nggak bisa, mau begitu nggak bisa, ada berbagai macam keterbatasan, jadi kemudian kita jadi demotivated. But I think we should be aware that whatever the condition is, whatever the curriculum you have, whatever resources you have, in a lot of cases, teacher is like the most important factor in educations. So you have a lot of roles. You have crucial roles in educating your students, in improving their quality. They depend on you. Okay. So if you don't have high motivations, then how about your students? How will we take care of our students when we don't have motivations to actually teach? Dan itu pasti kelihatan sebenarnya. Kalau kita lagi bad mood, datang ke kelas, pasti auranya, atmosfernya berbeda. Iya nggak Bapak Ibu? So in that way, then even when we have problems, I think when we come to the classroom, when we come to the class, I think first we have to be ready with the teaching activities. Itu pertama ya. Ini kalau misalnya saya tadi datang, meskipun I said to you earlier, I didn't really have time to actually prepare for my slides gitu ya. Even tadi saya tuh ada janji tadi zuhur keluar gitu ya, saya bawa laptop karena saya tahu ini slide saya ada yang belum selesai. But if I didn't prepare for this, I won't have the energy and the apa ya? Saya tidak akan bisa enjoy. Saya kalau mengajar itu pasti harus prepare gitu, pasti harus menyiapkan what do I want to achieve with my sessions. What do I have to deliver with my sessions? What kind of activities should I give? Should I deliver? And how much time will I need? So like, okay, I knew already from Nadia, like I already exceeded my time right now. Gitu ya. Jadi itu Bapak Ibu, saya kira when we teach, we always have to prepare gitu ya, to be ready with materials, with the objective first ya, of course ya, karena dari objektif itu kemudian kita menentukan bahannya seperti apa, flow activities-nya seperti apa gitu ya. Dan Bapak Ibu saya kira juga dengan suara yang penuh power, dengan intonasi dan tekanan yang berbeda, I think then your students, one of our tasks is of course to motivate our students gitu ya, to maintain their motivations, to ensure that they are on tasks throughout the time gitu. Karena bisa sangat mungkin kita ini ada di dalam kelas, tetapi anak-anak kita tuh tidak on tasks gitu. On task itu artinya ya we engage them in the activities, we involve them in our activities. Kalau ada classroom disorders ya kita harus memanage gimana caranya biar classroom disordersnya itu bisa diminimalisir atau bahkan dihentikan gitu ya. Karena kalau tidak ya tidak akan terjadi proses pembelajaran. Sementara learning opportunity itu is the most powerful medium for our students to really learn gitu. Mungkin itu ya yang bisa saya sampaikan.
Ibu, thank you so much. That's so insightful. Jadi kayak jawaban Ibu tadi tuh benar-benar bisa relate langsung dengan the things that we have got today gitu ya, dan ternyata langsung bisa nih nanti Ibu ya apa dari Pare-Pare dan juga di seluruh Indonesia bisa langsung mempraktekkannya. Oke, nah Ibu, I guess meskipun banyak sekali yang bertanya, ada 2, 3 mungkin ya. Nah, tapi yes, we have limited time, but yes, hopefully later on kita bisa berjumpa lagi dan diskusi lebih banyak lagi dengan Bapak Ibu gurunya, dengan Ibu Nurul juga. So, Ibu, one last question. Tadi keywords-nya itu kan dari Bapak Ibu. Nah, sekarang kalau dari Ibu Nurul nih, keywords terakhir to close our session today, apa nih Bu? 3 kata aja Bu. 3 kata aja maksimal.
Ya, ini mungkin preferensi aja gitu ya. Jadi apa yang kita diskusikan itu yang pertama itu adalah sangat penting untuk develop literacy gitu ya. Develop literacy, of course we need to have the critical thinking. And yang terakhir mungkin kalau kita relate dengan teaching activities ya. So being creative, I think as a teacher. Ya mungkin itu ya. Ya ini my reflections to the presentations and also the questions as well.
Oke. Thank you so much Ibu Nurul. Jadi keywords-nya tadi lebih dari 3 kata, tapi Bapak Ibu nanti bisa catch sendiri
dan aja mungkin ya.
Yes.
Literate. Kemudian critical thinking and creative lah.
Ibu, thank you so much. Okay, so literate, critical thinking, and creative ya. Thank you Ibu Nurul. Semoga tadi pastinya harus bisa diaplikasikan oleh Bapak Ibu di kelasnya langsung ya. Thank you Ibu Nurul. That's a really great session with you. Kita berjumpa lagi dengan Ibu Nurul nanti di akhir untuk sesi foto-foto ya Bu ya.
Ya, saya izin mau sholat dulu sebentar ya. Oke.
Oke, nah Bapak Ibu semuanya, before we go to our second session, let's watch these following videos. There you go.
Lesson plan-nya sangat bagus sekali, sangat membantu sekali. Karena memang juga jelas ini bagian mana partnya mana. Misalnya menyimak atau berbicara dengan LMS ini sangat terbantu. Itu selalu anak-anak selalu minta, begitu masuk hari ini Mister jadwalnya Atlaz. Saya bilang iya, oke. Terus boleh nggak 10 menit di awal kami main penguin. Dia mainnya tidak hanya di sekolah tapi di rumah juga dia main. Karena dia sangat ini sekali, menyenangkan sih menurut saya.
Maksudnya nggak ada yang jenuh gitu. Pas susah, bosan, nggak ada itu. Ya anak-anak semangat juga. Mereka harus mendengarkan dulu penjelasan gurunya baru mereka bisa ini. Jadi itu ada tantangan buat mereka untuk mencari tahu. Jadi lebih tertantang di buku Atlaz ini.
Terlebih lagi kalau di buku itu kan kita tahu gambar-gambarnya yang menarik. Pas mereka bikin ekstrakurikuler yang gambar dan presentasikan, mereka malah nanya, "Sir, menurut Sir apa yang harusnya ada ekstrakurikuler di sini?" Jadi kita sharing. Itu pas banget kan sama materinya. Saya gunakan juga sebagai buat speaking test mereka.
Pun juga akan membuat guru dan juga murid-murid jadi tertarik, dan begitu juga untuk bahasanya. Jadi kalau kata murid-murid yang lain, Miss ini bukunya bagus loh, karena bahasa Inggrisnya nggak yang dasar-dasar lagi, kayak latihannya memang agak menantang Miss. Begitu saya dan anak-anak sih menganggapnya udah memang levelnya memang naik gitu.
Oke, thank you so much Bapak Ibu yang masih bertahan sampai sekarang karena tidak sabar ingin join our second session. So, you have watch our videos. Ada 2 videos. Yang pertama tadi adalah beberapa pengalaman dari Bapak Ibu yang sudah menggunakan Atlaz di dalam kelasnya, di sekolahnya. Dan oh yes, so we are so grateful karena ternyata Atlaz bisa mampu membantu Bapak Ibu di beberapa sekolah dan hopefully semua Bapak Ibu yang ada di sini untuk bisa terus memberikan pengajaran yang bermakna untuk anak-anak muridnya, gitu ya. Nah, tadi yang video kedua, you can see bahwa kita tuh punya coming soon feature nanti, gitu ya. Dan hopefully dari sekarang Bapak Ibu sudah bisa catch up, apalagi tadi Ibu Nurul juga bahas tentang digital literacy gitu ya, dan ada juga penguasaan AI juga. Nah, Bapak Ibu semuanya dengan Atlaz, ketika Ibu menguasai AI, kita juga akan facilitate you untuk bisa menguasai AI dengan beberapa fitur yang akan kita masukkan tuh nanti. Salah satunya adalah tanya Zalta gitu ya. Dan ada beberapa AI lain juga yang akan kita masukkan. Nah, yang paling bikin saya semangat untuk kasih tahu dan spill sekarang adalah auto grading dan juga auto feedback untuk Bapak Ibu menilai productive skill nih. Ya, jadi selama ini kalau Bapak Ibu merasa productive skill itu susah banget assess-nya, ada speaking dan writing. Nah, with Atlaz, oke Bapak Ibu, we are going to support you to make your teaching, to make your administration thing easier. Oke, dan tentunya untuk bisa menjadi dan memberikan pengalaman yang lebih bermakna lagi untuk anak murid Bapak Ibu. Oke, nah it's time. Oh ya, kalau misalnya Bapak Ibu bertanya-tanya ini dari tadi Miss Nadia ngasih tahu tentang informasi Atlaz, gimana caranya untuk bisa langsung mendapatkan buku Atlaz. Nah, Bapak Ibu jangan khawatir karena kita bekerja sama dengan Intan Pariwara yang merupakan distributor resminya Atlaz dan Intan Pariwara itu sudah ada di seluruh Indonesia. Jadi Bapak Ibu jika ingin mengetahui lebih tentang produk Atlaz, Bapak Ibu bisa langsung kontak Intan Pariwara atau nanti di sini di dalam chat box itu akan diberitahu gitu ya, akan dikasih tahu nomor telepon untuk bisa get buku Atlaz melalui Intan Pariwara. Thank you. Nah, Bapak Ibu, it is time for us to have our second session with Mr. Kevin, the Chief Product Officer of Atlaz. I will call him. Hello, Mr. Kevin.
Hello, I'm here now.
Okay, so
You're still muted, Miss Nadia.
Hi, Mr. Kevin. Sorry, ready?
Yes, I'm ready now.
Okay, so I think it's time for you to have and to meet the teachers. Okay, the floor is yours, please.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Nadia. All right, hello again, everybody. How is everybody doing today? I hope you're still awake. I haven't seen a lot of faces yet, but let me try to see you. I can see Ibu Sri, hello. Ibu Liz, Ibu Teresia, Mr. Salim, right? Bu Neneng, thank you for showing your faces, and I'm looking forward to seeing more faces here. And Ibu Siti Irsan, hello. Okay, well, I hope you're still as excited as I am because I think I want to share more information. Hopefully this will be also as fruitful as it was with our previous speaker, Bu Nurul. So let me share my screen. So I think just to make it a little bit more relevant towards today's topic, so I would like to recap a little bit and maybe try to build a bridge between what Ms. Nurul has already spoken about and with what I'm going to share with you, right? So I think the first thing that struck me the most, I think when Ms. Nurul mentioned about no critical thinking could affect decision-making skills. So that's one of the most important things that I think we need to take into account whether we are teachers ourselves or when we are teaching students, right? Because critical thinking skills are very, very crucial in this day and age. And the second one, digital literacy. So using AI and teachers ourselves, we need to be able to utilize them, right? Especially, I would say, if you have seen our upcoming feature, how we're utilizing that to actually cut down your administrative work. So maybe if you want to type in the chat box, if you feel like teachers have too much administrative work, please say, yes, I feel that. I feel like I need to spend so much time making lesson plans, or you call it RPP, right? And it takes me so long, maybe for, 2 hours for one class, and I need to make a program tahunan or whatever it is. And it seems like it's a lot and it just keeps coming back, right? And you feel like I really would like to focus more on my teaching more than administrative work. If you agree with me, please just type in there, I agree, I feel that way too. And don't worry, you're not alone. And we, Atlas, we believe that we want to help you. So I think that's one of the most important things. And later I will show how we can help you, right? And the next thing, I think another crucial thing is as English teachers ourselves, I think Ms. Nurul mentioned that we need to be able to utilize digitalization as well, technology overall, right? So it occurs to me no matter how old we are, whether we are young or old, we need to continue learning. And especially as English teachers, we need to go beyond just English teaching, right? Beyond just teaching English itself. So we need to understand what else we can do because we need to stay relevant to what is happening in the world right now. So when we're teaching the students can actually learn more from us and gain more experience that way. And I think the last thing from the previous session as well is also mentioning about how important it is for us to encourage students to use more technology themselves, but I would say in a more in a better way, not just like using it maybe for TikTok and things like that, but actually using it to build their own digital and media and information literacy. And that's one of the things that I think we have encountered like recently, me and Ms. Nadia, when we're talking with schools, especially with English teachers. How many of you have had experience when you feel like, well, I do want to incorporate that in my teaching, but I think it's really hard because the school doesn't really provide computers for my students, or the schools don't provide any technology, or we don't allow gadgets in school. So how can we do that, right? So that's one thing that we're trying to also help you solve as well. But I think one of the things that we could encourage right now is to not be afraid and to speak up. So you can speak up to your principal, to Yaya-san. They need to hear from you because they need to understand that English teachers also need these tools because we are going to upgrade ourselves in order to be able to upgrade our students, right? Because if we don't have their support, it's going to be hard. So yeah, that's, I think, just a little bit about what I could conclude from the previous session, and jumping into my section next. So just a little bit about myself for those who don't know me yet. For those who knew me, probably this is the 10th time you've seen this. So my name is Kevin. So I'm the Chief Product Officer at Atlaz. I have graduated from University of Southern California with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. And I have been working as the Academic Manager at English First. And I have been teaching English since 2018. And I have been in charge of developing teachers and also ensure academic excellence. And I had experience teaching students from age of 3 years old to adults. So that's why what we're doing here at Atlaz as well. We want to be able to tap into all these different fields, not just for kids, not just for adults, but everybody, because we believe English education is for everyone. Okay, so a little bit, just to recap, why is English important in media literacy or media and information literacy? Because a lot of information is presented in English, a unifying language is needed to research and find confirmation of the factualness of what we are looking for. So maybe this is a little bit deep if we try to dig into it just one time seeing it. Let's get into the next one first. So I would like you to answer first, maybe in your own opinion. Why should we be careful of what we receive? So it can be information, it can be let's say receiving gifts, could be receiving package, whatever it is. So when you are receiving something, why is it important for you to be careful? Why do you have to be careful when you're receiving something? So I'll give you some time. Just type in the chat box. Because we have to filter. That's a good one, Mr. Daddy. And Ms. Dion, it's fact or real or scamming or hoax. All right, anything else? For safety, yeah, safety purposes, exactly. All right, maybe as you were answering, I do have more questions here. To prevent ourselves from violence, yes. This can be true or hoax, can influence many people, that's right. So yeah, keep on writing. So as you're writing, and for those who have answered, you can also answer the next questions. So has any of these ever happened to you, or have any of these, can be more than one. So if it has happened to you, you can type it, yes, that happened to me. So for example, the first one, the information I forwarded in WhatsApp turned out to be a hoax. So let's say you receive information from someone and you feel like, oh, I need to share it to someone. But then later on, you figure out, oh, that's actually a hoax, right? So if that ever happened to you, please type in the chat box, yes, that happened to me. And the second one, I fought with one of my friends over a political choice he or she made. Does this happen to you as well? Let's say oh, I think this candidate is better than that one. No, I think that one is wrong. And then you argue, and at the end of the day, it's kind of ruining a relationship a little bit as well, right? If that ever happened to you, type in as well. And then the next one, the information I received was actually not a recent one. It was from 2 years ago. So this actually happened to, I think, me last week when I saw oh, there's this video, there's an earthquake happening in, I don't know, Indonesia, somewhere in Indonesia. But turned out when I researched for this information, it was actually from 2 years ago, right? So has it ever happened to you? And the next one, I couldn't find a real video on any sites, so I just shared it anyway. So did you ever do this yourself? Let's say oh, I don't know if this is true or not, but I just shared it. And at the end of the day, you don't really care, or you just let it happen. And next one, I get scammed by an ad. Once I paid for it, the seller was unresponsive. Okay, something happened to, I think this one happened to my mom, for example, when she said, like, oh, this dress was really, really beautiful, so I bought it. So she paid for it, right? And after that, like, she didn't get any reply back from the seller, and then she was blocked, the number was blocked, and then that's it, right? So has this ever happened to you? And the next one, the next one is also the same. So never mind, don't mind the last one. So, okay, so type in the chat box if this has happened to you. 3 of them, okay, all right. To get the benefit of it, and yes, it all happens. All happened, okay. So you have experienced all of them. So this is Ibu Tres. Yes, ever, to reach exact goal. All right. So it seems like I think most of you probably have experienced one or a few of these. So something also that we talk about, me and Miss Nadia, when we were talking with different people, right? When we're talking about teachers, teachers are, I think, like one of the victims of this kind of scam, right? That is happening nowadays, and not just in Indonesia, but around the world. And that's actually pretty ironic, right? Because we believe that, like, oh, we should be like thinking critically, things like that. But then we're also subject to this kind of scams, things like that. But of course, we cannot actually blame you for letting this happen to you. So that means there is something that we need to be able to upgrade in ourselves, something we need to be aware of, so we are no longer the victims. And we can also share this information with our students, so they are also not subject to become the victims, right? Okay, so more chat. Scam, yes, twice. Oh yeah, see, yeah. So it could happen even more than once. So that's something that we have to be aware of. So we need to also think about where we receive information from. So we can receive from social media, WhatsApp messages, online articles, television, radio, newspapers. And I forgot to include one more, which was from people just talking to us, right? That's also information, something that we saw in Ms. Nurul's earlier slide as well. So the reasons why we should be careful of what we receive, we need to understand that first, we are living in a world where everything instantaneous is more rewarding. Speed comes first, truthfulness second. So imagine this is something like receiving information we discussed about earlier, right? Maybe like there's a hoax spreading about like, oh, okay, teacher salary will increase next year. Yay, so happy, right? And I want to be the first one to let my friends know about it. So that sense of reward actually comes first before actually us trying to figure out whether that's true or not. So that's why we need to be careful, right? So sometimes we need to be aware that we cannot just follow our instinct of wanting to get that reward, but actually to find the truthfulness first. And the second one, media are backed up by people with different agendas. So objectivity becomes scarce. So what does scarce mean? Scarce means it becomes rare, right? It becomes finding objectivity is not as easy as it was before. Even when we are reading trustworthy articles, trustworthy TV stations or news anchors, things like that, it's not as objective as it used to be. Why? Because there's always hidden agendas everywhere. So even when you feel like, okay, I can believe that, you need to really think critically more. So you cannot really just be like, oh, because I heard it from there and that's a trustworthy resource, so that must be true. Even that might not be true. So you cannot just trust it and just believe in it. So there is additional step that you need to do, and we will touch on that later. And we are subject to phishing attacks where false information is used to gain our personal information. So I think nowadays more than ever, our data, our personal information is way more valuable than anything else. So maybe we started thinking like, okay, I never got scammed. I never had to pay, I don't know, for a dress that looked nice on the ad. I never got fooled for it. But have you ever experienced, let's say, tapping your personal information, but then not realizing it, but later you figure out like, wait, did I just give out my personal information to someone who I don't know, right? So things like that, you need to think as well, because that is essentially something that maybe they are selling. So even something that I think all of us can relate to right now. when we're buying SIM cards, so let's say we're buying new SIM cards for our phones, and that phone number has never been used anywhere, right? But then we started using it. But I think like probably the next day or even on the same day, you will receive some promotions or even some scams that sending you like, oh, please donate some money here. I sent to this account. So things like that, right? Why is it happening? But that's because our personal information, the data is being used in such a way that it's towards their advantage. So more than for us. So that's why we need to be really careful. So what should we do? So these are just some tips that I think in general we can do, right? So this is more for us, but later we'll touch on how it can be applied to our students as well. First, think critically. Obviously, we talk about this already, right? But really, really think critically. Second one, it is okay to be skeptical. So I think Indonesian culture is one of these cultures where we want to be really nice, right? Something I experienced when I was living abroad is like, why are Indonesian people so nice, right? They're always asking me that. And I always answer, it's because of our culture. So we have a culture of like, it's polite to do it that way. And it's implied to say no, and it's implied to show that you are a little bit skeptical. So I think this is something we have to build because we might have to reverse our culture a little bit. It is okay to be skeptical, right? Because when you're being skeptical, doesn't mean like you're not trusting that person you're talking to, but you might not be trusting that information, and that's perfectly fine. And the third one, utilize the internet to seek for the truth. Know which sources are reliable, right? So, and look there, sources, plural, not just one, meaning that when you're searching for information, don't just trust one source. So when you're searching for something, search for maybe like 2 different websites, 3 different websites. Are they saying the same thing or not? And this is, I feel like, something that our current young generation has been doing really well, especially with the Gen Zs. I can tell like they're really good at doing research because like they like to like research online and get information. So maybe for us as educators who are not as young as the Gen Zs, something that we can also try to learn, right? So to research, and that's fine. If it takes longer for us to do it, maybe at first we can try to adapt to it, but that's also very important to do. And the next one, share only if you know it's true. Refrain from uncertainty. So if you don't know if it's true or not, it's better to not share it, right? So I think that's better because we also want to educate our students later that it's not just about the instantaneous reward, right? But it's about the truthfulness that matters more. And then slow down and think twice before taking any action. So let's say sometimes, especially when we're talking about election, there can be like, I don't know, very intriguing information that maybe is given to you and you feel like, oh my God, this is unacceptable. I have to let people know that this is not true or this is true. Look at what that candidate is doing, right? So that is us powered by our emotion, by our anger. So it's better for us to post something when we are not at that state, right? So when we're more calm, more controlling ourselves. So that's something that we need to think of as well before, even not just about sharing information, about yourself too. When you're posting stuff on your social media, for example, it's better to refrain from posting something that is emotional. And the last one, implement the GARD model. So if you wonder what GARD model is, I will show it to you in just a moment. So this is the GARD model. So basically, this is kind of my idea, but I'm also utilizing AI, so ChatGPT, right? So just to show it to you how we can create something that is so phenomenal by utilizing technology and combining it with our own sense, right? So as Ms. Nurul said earlier as well, yes, we need to be able to utilize the digitalization and things like that, but we need to be able to use it with our own mind as well. We're not just using it as if like, okay, let the AI do everything and we just receive. That's also not the right way to do it, right? But it's about combining. It's about finding the balance between us and also the technology. So the GARD model, actually, it's an acronym. So each of the letters in GARD, it stands for something. The first one, it stands for G for gather, right? So gather information from reliable sources. So let's say you receive this information from someone and Okay, you're not sure if it's true or not. So you need to gather more information, right, from reliable sources. And again, it's plural, not just one, but many, right? So the more you get, the better it is, because there's a bigger chance that that information is actually true. When you get the information, the next letter is U, understand. So understand the premise and the purpose. So also trying to understand what the author is trying to tell you. So if it's an article, for example, right? Is it informative, or is it something about propaganda, right? Things like that. So you need to be able to understand, not just receive, but understand what is actually going on with the information that you're seeing. The third one, analyze, A for analyze. Analyze the credibility of the information. So you've seen all these different resources. Maybe some of them are using different information. Maybe they're sharing different things. You can analyze which one you feel it's more truthful than the others. So that's when your critical thinking is in action. And the fourth one, R for review. Review multiple perspectives. So this is maybe when you're talking to different experts, maybe you have friends who are working for the ministries, things like that, to just, if you're wondering about something more serious, it's better to cross-check, right? So rather than just like trusting it as your own, and it's like, I think it's true. And the next one is D for doubt. So again, right, being skeptical is okay. So doubt, question, think critically, and decide. So D also stands for decide. So you can decide whether you think from all this evidence you get, the data that you have received, whether it's true or not. And see that this is actually a cycle. So it doesn't end with just doubt. It comes back together. So probably when you have done this already and you have implemented in your life one way or another, you have realized that sometimes when you feel like, oh, that information is true, it's truth. But next time, when you're researching for it again, oh, it's actually not true. Okay, so what is going on? Is there something wrong with our process? Maybe not, but maybe it's something that we need to start digging again. It's with the information we're getting. Maybe it's from the resources that are not reliable, or maybe that we are choosing some sources that we used to believe, but they're not as relevant anymore, right? So let's imagine, talking about TikToks or Instagrams, influencers, right? Even those people, right? I'm not saying anything bad about them, but those people might also get some endorsements, or they get paid by certain companies, right? So information that we receive from them might not actually be 100% objective. So that's why we need to be skeptical as well. Yes, it's fine for us to listen to them, to be learning something from them, that's fine. But we need to be critically thinking about, okay, is there any hidden agenda, or is the information 100% accurate, or is this something that they're not telling us? So we have to be very, very critical there. Okay, so when we have understood that, maybe applying it to ourselves is already quite burdensome, right? So it's a lot of things that are new, and maybe we're not used to doing processing information in such a long way. Now, who should we encourage to think critically? Some people might be wondering. So when I was guiding some teachers in the past, they asked me like, okay, so at what age should we start training our children to think critically? Can they actually think critically when they're really young, or are there certain ages that they have to start doing it formally, for example? Okay, so the answer is everyone. Primary students, so I'm dividing it by two here, primary students and secondary students. Because technically speaking, when you're looking at, let's say, different international standards for teaching English or even critical thinking, they start teaching critical thinking at grade 7. So grade 7 is middle school, right? So that's when it becomes heavily influenced in the materials that we're using to teach. But it doesn't mean that we're not teaching them to primary students. We are actually teaching to them as well, but in a different way. Obviously, we can't be giving them, okay, read this article and tell me what you think about it, right? So imagine when we're giving that to a 6-year-old, maybe they are still in grade 1, and they barely know how to read at all. And we're exposing them to this information. It won't be as effective that way. So instead of us trying to build critical thinking directly like that, there are certain ways that we can do it. First, we can ask for them to state opinions or feelings. So Ms. Nurul earlier has mentioned as well, right? So ask them about as simple as like, what do you want to eat? What do you want to drink? That already have, it's an open-ended question, right? So they start thinking critically that way. Reasoning. So reasoning comes a little bit, I would say, later, after they'll be able to choose maybe between two different things and then three different things and then more and open-ended. Then they start reason. They start asking why. So when you have kids of your own, probably you have started experiencing this, right? There is a moment in their life when they start asking why. So when you have answered something, they still ask why, but why? Let's say you have to eat properly, and you ask why? Because it's better for you. Why do you have to be better? Why? That's also actually a stage in their life as well. Problem solving. So it comes after reasoning, right? And then observing, making simple decisions. So these are some things that you can apply in your classroom. So maybe if you're teaching primary students, you can try to implement some of these skills. And if you're teaching secondary, so when critical thinking can come formally and you can actually teach them as its own sub-skill. So you can give them maybe structured critical thinking skills that foster a mindset of curiosity, questioning, and also analysis. So this is when things get a bit deeper. So I will also show it because Atlaz also provides some materials that actually can help you. Because I think most of the time when I'm talking to teachers, it's not that they don't know that they have to do this, but it's about finding the right resources. How can I actually bring this to class? I don't know what kind of resources I have to do. Do I have to bring real articles, or maybe do I have to change it? Do I have to alter it? What do I have to do, right? So when you're incorporating critical thinking to your teaching, I think it's also important to think about three different aspects. So the first one is the cognitive aspect. Teach students how to use search engines properly, to check for truthful information. So this is something that maybe like when you're giving them information about, okay, try to use Google for this, then really teach them how to use the Google. So that is the cognitive aspect. So cognitive is something that is more visible, in my opinion, that it's something that you can show to them and they can learn from you. The second one, affective. So affective meaning like it's something that's related to more of their emotions, so more of their motivation. Teach students to always stay curious and be cautious of any new information they receive. So they have a sense that whenever they receive any new information, they have to be skeptical about it. And the next one, psychomotor. Teach students what kind of wording they have to use when doing their research. So this is adding a little bit more details, right? So what is it that they have to do physically, actually? So typing itself is not actually another physical activity, right? Or maybe like getting their phone and actually like doing it by themselves, Googling them by themselves. So this is also as important as it is more than you just showing it on screen. This, for example, let's say when the teachers just show it on the screen, maybe they get like, okay, there's Google, I do it. But when they're actually doing it themselves and they're physically doing it, it actually becomes more effective. All right, so that's about like the critical thinking aspects, and also the higher order thinking skills, which I think are also part of the Merdeka curriculum as well, right? So meaning like I'm pretty sure all of you have already learned about this and have started doing it in your classes as well. So that means we need to really ask more deeper questions to our students. And the next one, use real life examples and prepare students for potential problems. So real life examples are actually very, very important because it's very relevant towards what they are going through in life, especially when you're teaching teenagers. It's more important even than just giving them any theoretical aspects. Okay, so I'll give you some examples how Atlaz actually provides some of these already in our materials. So the first one here, we have something called Atlaz Zone. So this is for our Escalate. So our Escalate books. At the end of every unit, we have this section where we're actually encouraging students to use their creative and also critical thinking. So you can see on the right side here, right? Be curious. Even the title itself is already be curious, right? So you can, we're asking to read an article first about what it means to be curious. And then we're asking them to actually be curious and actually putting into action. And another example is think out. The best way to get people to think outside the box is not to create the box in the first place. So that means maybe we start asking them to think outside the box, right? Okay, and some real world tasks we can see here. So the previous one was one specific section, right? But the next one here, this is more embedded into each of the sub-skills that we have, or not just sub-skills, but in the big skills as well. So for example, vocabulary. So vocabulary, we're talking about, let's say, debates. Maybe when you're teaching middle schools or high schools, debates are very important. So maybe a lot of students know how to conduct a debate, but maybe they don't know about the steps yet, right? So maybe you can teach them, okay, you're team A as a pro, team B as a con, things like that. And it also gives some information for the students, let's say, how to present opinions. So when you are the first team to actually present your argument, you can use this, what is it called, sentences. The motion for today is we believe, we insist, we think that, right? So it also helps them to support by giving some real life examples as well. And even like, let's say, review testimonies, right? So read university student testimonials below. So maybe this is more towards high school students, right? Because they like to, I don't know, nowadays maybe not reading blogs anymore, but maybe reading Instagram posts. Maybe they're reading some of their favorite influencers. So you can give them some models by using this in the book. But later, after this, you can go deeper. Okay, if now find that person that you follow on your social media, on your Instagram, and try to analyze, right? So read their review testimony, what they actually think about. And also there's identifying ads, analyzing websites, reading articles. So everything is pretty much there already. So it's just about how you're utilizing it to actually, encourage their critical thinking. And here, don't forget, so after we provide them with all these wonderful materials, don't forget to make it fun. That's also another important aspect. So I think there are two jokes here that are funny, but maybe they're funny to me. But I don't know if they're funny to you or not. But I want to give you some time, and maybe I will ask Miss Nadia to help me to read one of them. I'm going to read maybe joke A. Miss Nadia will read joke B. And I want you to type in the chat box, why do you think this joke is funny? Because it's in English. Okay, so I'll read the first one first. Miss Nadia, get ready for joke B. So joke A. This man is at home when he hears a knock at the door. He opens the door, but there's no one there. Looking down, he sees a snail. Disgusting. He picks up the snail and throws it away as far as he can. 2 years later, there's another knock on the door. The man opens the door and there's the snail. The snail whines. What did you do that for? Okay, I already laughed, so I'm not gonna laugh anymore. Oh, I did. Okay, so why do you think this is funny? Where's the joke here? So I want to know why you think this is funny. Or if any of you laugh like Miss Nadia here.
It's funny, I guess.
Okay.
It takes me like, 1 minute to realize that it's funny.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't come across naturally for us, but that's what we're actually building to helping the students to build their critical thinking as well, right? To analyze joke, to figure out why this is funny. Okay, so anybody know why this is funny? You can also unmute yourself, by the way.
Okay, there's something happened with the snail, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got the answer on the
Snail,
chat box.
snail is slow. Yeah, that's right. The snail is slow. Yeah. That's right. Okay. Anything else? Maybe for someone? I'll just wait for maybe another minute. This is just a joke, right? So because it's getting late, right? I don't want you guys to take things too seriously. It's already quite a deep topic. Okay, maybe when we are waiting for people to type, maybe Miss Nadia can read the second one. So another funny joke.
Okay, should I read that? Okay, good. Okay, I haven't read that, but then I love anyway. Okay, there are 3 men stranded on the desert island. Okay, buried in the sand. They find a magic lamp. Wow. The first man rubs the lamp and get the scent of it. And would you believe it? A genie appears. Wow. He offers the men 1 wish each. The first man wishes to be safely home. And poof, He disappears. Okay. Okay. The second man wishes the same thing. Poof. Okay. And then the third man sighed. I'm feeling lonely now. I wish my friends were back here. Oh,
Now you get the joke.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Nadia, for your help. So maybe for those who haven't got the jokes yet, should I tell them? Okay. Well, yeah, I think with this, take a picture. What does it mean? Oh, maybe that's for something else. Okay. Yeah. Well, the joke here is so that there are three people, right? So and there's a genie, genie from Aladdin. They ask like, what is your wish? The first person says like, okay, I want to go home. Okay, poof, goes home. Second one says, I want to go home too. Okay, poof, you went home as well. And the third one says, I wish my friends were back here. So what do you guess happening at the end? The other two friends probably will come back, right? And they didn't disappear. So at the end, they're still together. But yeah, that's a joke. So yeah, it's a little bit, I think it takes some time for the students to process, but this kind of things will help them to build their critical skills, because this kind of joke is not one of those, what is that called? Like a slapstick humor, right? You know what slapstick humors are. This is when, let's say, like people are, I don't know, hurting themselves or doing something visually funny and you just laugh instantaneously like that. But you actually need to analyze, to think first why this is funny. And I think this is one of like the greatest ways that we can build, incorporate some critical thinking skills and make it fun. So, okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Nadia, for your help. Real nice. And hopefully everybody got the joke at the end. You can also share it with the students, maybe next week, right? Because tomorrow is Saturday. Yeah. Some other examples here. So, for example, in grammar, we're also teaching them direct, indirect speech, because indirect speech is what's being used for articles, news. It's important for students to know the structure, because otherwise maybe it will become harder for them to analyze articles if they don't know this grammatical structure. And the writing as well, let's say like I'm writing report text, imagine they become journalists themselves. So when we ask them to actually read articles, it becomes more relevant to them as well. And the last one, so this is to answer one of the questions today. So I just added it like 5 minutes before my presentation today. Somebody asked like, oh my gosh, I have to do this new administrative task and it takes me a long time to build this RPP, things like that, right? So this is just an example what Atlaz also provides. So more than just the materials themselves, we actually provide the lesson plans for you, and the lesson plans are already embedded with everything. So it has like what is it called? The phases, let's say phase A, phase B, phase C, and also like it's based on CEFR standard as well. So we actually have it there written for you. If you need to submit, you can literally just submit it, or you can copy and paste it because it's already quite informative. But this is some examples that I took. For example, let's say you want to build some critical thinking skills in your class, but you're not really sure what to do. So this is actually from Unit 2, sorry, this is a typo. So from Azkiyah 6, Unit 2. So this is one of the topics in our Atlaz zone. So for example, learn to speak responsibly, and start the lesson by saying, perhaps you have to receive a message like this. You have a virus set on your hard disk and you have to download this app so you won't get this virus to corrupt your files, things like that, right? So you're setting up the story, things like that. And then the next section here, bottom one, you can see how to spot false information. So this is very much relevant to what we're talking about today. So I think this is quite funny as well, because when you take a look, it teaches the steps, right? How we can actually spot false information. Take a closer look beyond the headline, check other sources, check the facts, check your biases. Is it a joke? And then let's say some teachers have also asked, let's say, what if I have some students who are more faster than the others? You can provide some supplementary activities for them, things like that, right? Okay, so I think this is just some examples. So hopefully this answers the question that was asked previously, because I really wanted to show it to you how Atlaz can actually help you, because we also believe that teachers have already had a lot of administrative tasks on your shoulders, and we want to try our best to help you minimize that. And this is one of the ways to do it, right? To provide a lesson plan for you, which you can automatically just adapt, or you can alter it however you want it to be, but it cuts down the amount of time, let's say, when you have to search for the right sources to use, right? Or let's say preparing the lesson plan itself, everything is already provided for you. And even the instructions, how to give instructions to the students as well. Okay, I think that's pretty much it from my session from today. Hopefully it was useful for some of you. And I think I'll give it back to Miss Nadia because we're going to have some question session, right?
Yay! Thank you so much, Mr. Kevin, for your very, very, how can I say? I can see that some of you perhaps langsung kayak mengambil note, ya, you directly take your note, and then after that you write down some activities that you can implement in your classroom. All right, and the things that I'm so excited is about the guard model. Okay, so yeah, it is one of the simple way, to what is that, to guard yourself from those hoax news, perhaps. Okay, now Bapak Ibu, it is time for us to have question and answer session. Tadi sebenarnya Mr. Kevin, saya ingin menanyakan tentang pertanyaan dari Pak Dedi tadi ya, yang ada di Kendari. Oke. Tapi sepertinya sudah dijawab oleh Mr. Kevin. Ya, oleh Mr. Kevin. Jadi, Mr. Dedi menanyakan tentang this one. The teachers have many things to do in PMM. Okay. In the last time, the teacher make only one sheet of RPP for making simple administration, but now online administration really difficult to do for them who lives in the remote area. How do you think about this? Okay, is it effective for the teachers? So yeah, actually, Mr. Kevin has already answered that one. But Mr. Kevin, you have any other point of view, please?
Yeah, so I think like also maybe the perspective that we should have as well as teachers. Usually it's about like receiving something new, having to change the way we have been doing things. Sometimes it's hard to accept, right? Because that we have to do something else that is quite new. But we also need to start thinking that because we need to upgrade ourselves, because we want to achieve a better future for the future generations as well. So any of these new things that we have to do, we have to start thinking, okay, what is in it for me and for the students? Maybe there is something good to it. Even if it's administrative work, there must be a purpose why we have to do it that way, right? As annoying as it is, there must be a purpose. And it's better for us to start finding ways to do it more efficiently. And for me, I always start with organizing my thoughts first. How can I do it in the most efficient way? I think that's the most important part. And the second one is to plan things out. So rather than you do it, let's say I have to make lesson plan and I'll make it like, let's say 1 hour before the class starts. It's gonna create a lot of stress for you, and that's also not healthy. So when you plan things out in the long run, that's better for you. So I guess just those two things, right? So changing our perspective a little bit, adapting our perspective, and also try to be more efficient by how we're doing things.
Okay, so yeah, it is there ya. Jadi benar-benar nyata gitu ya, Mr. Kevin, bahwa ada hal-hal yang sangat luar biasa ya, bukan beban, how can I say, kayak tasknya para teachers gitu ya. Oke, thank you so much Mr. Kevin for the tips. Nah, sebenarnya ini ada satu lagi, tapi kita ada pertanyaan nih, Mr. Sahlim ini raise hand. Oke, boleh jika Mr. Sahlim ingin bertanya, you also can actually open. Oh yeah, there you go. You open up your camera. Thank you so much, Mr. Sahlim. Nah, Mr. Sahlim, if you have any question, boleh Mr. Sahlim.
Okay, thank you very much for the time. I have this very good material for me, and I got the good model. It is the new for me model, yeah, the good model, and it's good gather, yeah, understand, analyze, and review, and dots. I think it is new for me. So my question is, this model can be applied in the group or for personal. I think one by one, or maybe it is good apply for this model in the group or one by one, because it is the new for
Yeah.
me. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
okay, okay. All right, we got your question, Mr. Salim. Thank you so much. You're so curious about the guard model, ya, Mr. Salim. Okay,
Okay.
where are you from anyway, Mr. Salim?
From West Sulawesi.
Oh, West Sulawesi. Okay, di sana berarti sudah it's 6
Yeah.
p.m. already, right? It's almost
Yeah.
maghrib. Yeah,
Wow.
thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
please, Mr. Kevin. So, how can we implement guard model in our classroom? Can we implement that like in the group or individual, or in which kind of activities that we can actually apply this one? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the question, Mr. Salim. I'm sorry, I think the internet connection is a little bit bad here, but hopefully you all can still hear my voice. But yes, so the guard model itself, maybe what I got from the question is like, is it to be used individually as like the letters themselves or as a whole model? Maybe that's the first question. For me, I think like it's better to use it as a whole model itself. So it becomes a process. So what we want to teach the students. So this is usually like what I do with my students as well. I start from something really simple. So I start doing, let's say, I break it down. So gather, what is gather? Give them some examples and give them some scenarios how they have to gather information. Then let's say after that, like understand and then analyze and so on, right? But after they get all these like steps one by one, then you want to bring them as a whole, right? So it becomes like something that is more critical. So when they are receiving information, they know they have to do this step by step. So it becomes like procedural as well. So this is all very much similar if you're teaching really young learners, maybe some primary teachers here, when you're teaching instructions. At first, you always teach maybe just like raise your hand, listen to your teacher, look, right? Something very simple. But once they have got used to it, then you want to combine all of them together. So it becomes multi-level instructional. So that's another important thing, because we don't want students to just be saying yes, saying no, doing it right or wrong, but actually to build that sense of critical thinking as well. So I think to answer, yes, you can teach it one by one first, but at the end of the day, make sure that you're connecting all the dots together so it becomes step by step.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Atlaz.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Mr.
That is
Salim.
very good. Very good. Okay. Thank you so much for the explanation.
Yeah, so anyway, Bapak Ibu, do not worry if you are going to apply or implement this guard model. We are going to give you the slide, yes, jadi jangan khawatir, nanti akan diberikan juga, termasuk tadi kita ada beberapa part dari Miss Nurul juga, dari Ibu Nurul yang bisa kita aplikasikan langsung di kelas tentang meal tadi gitu ya, jadi bisa ada parts key skill-nya yang bisa kita praktekkan langsung. Do not worry. Ya, nanti admin akan send ke email Bapak Ibu pada saat Bapak Ibu nanti melakukan presensi. Okay, now Mr. Kevin, I guess, okay, it is time for us to to stop our session. Yes, thank you so much for being here. So give big round of applause to Mr. Kevin. Yay! Okay. So yes, now we are asking you the question. I am asking you the question. What is the keyword from you, Mr. Kevin, please?
Okay, so today is just one word, and it's the model that I showed you earlier. So it's very easy. The keyword is guard. G-U-A-R-D. Guard. That's it.
All right. Okay, so it's guard ya. Jadi tadi guard itu singkatan gitu ya Bapak Ibu, dan itu bisa jadi salah satu hal juga, salah satu yang kita ajarkan juga to our students. Guard. Ayo, masih ingat Bapak Ibu guard apa tadi? Yang pertama gather, yang kedua apa? Oke, yang kedua adalah understand, yang ketiga adalah analyze, yang keempat R-nya itu stand for, ayo ada yang ingat? Review, yay! Okay, and then the last one ada D-nya. What is D? Doubt. Yeah, so we need to check out gitu ya, at doubt and then think critically in this part. Okay, thank you Bapak Ibu, thank you Mr. Kevin. Okay, so now Bapak Ibu, it is actually the end of our session for today. So, yes, admin sudah membagikan present list. Jadi Bapak Ibu bisa mengisi present list dengan memastikan emailnya yang dimasukkan benar, gitu ya, karena nanti all of the certificates dan juga materi akan dikirimkan melalui email Bapak Ibu paling lambat itu di hari Kamis tanggal 18 Januari 2024. Oke, jangan lupa memasukkan 2 keywords juga. Tadi ada yang pertama dari Ibu Nurul ada literate, critical thinking, and creative. Dan yang keyword kedua adalah guard, ya. Oke, nah guys, it is time for us to have our last session. Nah, ini Bapak Ibu yang sudah sering mengikuti webinar Atlaz pasti tahu bahwa ini saatnya membuka kamera, ya. Oke, thank you so much. I can see Ibu Sri, Ibu Hasrawati, kemudian Ibu Dia. Oke, nah, udah terlihat nih wajah-wajahnya di belakang sana. Oke, nah saya akan mulai capture from the first page. Oke, Ibu Nurulnya mana ya? Oke, kita coba, mungkin Ibu Nurulnya masih belum bergabung sepertinya ya. Oh, there you go.
Sudah, Mbak.
Oh,
Oke,
yes,
pas.
thank you so much. Pas sekali ya, Ibu Nurul. Oke, so, nah saya ini kan dulu. Oke, sip. Nah, saya akan foto dari sekarang. In 3, 2, 1. Oke. Good. Lagi mungkin ya. Oh, 3, 2, 1, and go. Oke. Nah, saya coba ke page kedua. Ini ada di page kedua tuh, di page saya ada Pak Prio. Ada Ibu Nurul juga, another Ibu Nurul, tapi ini Ibu Nurul Inayah nih dari Kota Serang ya. Oke, oke, hai Ibu, thank you for staying with us. Nah, Bapak Ibu semuanya, saya juga mau mengingatkan tadi sebenarnya ada satu pertanyaan di akhir mengenai gimana caranya bisa improve literasi students gitu ya di kelas secara general. Nah, Bapak Ibu, saya ingin mengundang Bapak Ibu juga untuk terus menyimak the things that we share on our Instagram, karena nanti di bulan Februari kita akan bekerja sama juga dengan Sekolah Literasi Indonesia untuk mengadakan seminar literasi dengan 3 expert di bidang keuangan, kemudian di bidang kesehatan, dan juga di bidang perubahan iklim. Gitu ya. Jadi kalau misalnya Bapak Ibu tertarik untuk mengikuti webinarnya, saksikan terus ya, simak terus di di Instagram kita. Nanti juga akan kita kirimkan melalui WhatsApp Bapak Ibu seperti biasa. Oke, jangan lupa untuk selalu presensi dulu gitu ya sebelum exit dari grup. Dan if you have any question about Atlaz, you can actually ask Kamaya di WhatsApp. Dan juga kalau Bapak Ibu tertarik ingin memiliki dan juga menggunakan produk Atlaz, gitu ya, Bapak Ibu bisa menghubungi salesnya Atlaz melalui Intan Pariwara. Oke, jadi Bapak Ibu bisa langsung go there karena kita bekerja sama dan Intan Pariwara merupakan distributor resminya Atlaz. Baik Bapak Ibu semuanya, jangan lupa thank you for sharing. Also keep sharing with us, gitu ya, anything that you can ask. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice weekend.
Jadi guru itu harus esa sabar. Tidak jarang murid mengalami kesulitan, namun tidak berani bertanya.
Kadang capek dan bosan. Setiap sebelum ngajar harus buat dan update lesson plan. Ditambah lagi kemampuan dan kebutuhan siswa itu berbeda-beda. Harus ditanya satu persatu di mana permasalahannya. Tapi setelah saya mencoba pakai Atlaz, motivasi belajar murid saya meningkat tajam. Karena selain memiliki buku interaktif dan LMS yang user-friendly, metode pembelajarannya juga menarik dan mudah dimengerti. Lalu saya merekomendasikan ke teman guru bahasa Inggris yang lain.
Atlas memang merupakan solusi yang selama ini saya cari. Kini, murid saya jadi jago berbahasa Inggris karena terus belajar dan praktek dengan video pembelajaran bahasa Inggris di rumah.
Syukur sekarang ada Atlas. Banyak pilihan metode ajar dan media pembelajaran up to date. Tanpa kursus, guru tenang, murid senang.
Semuanya, thank you Mbak Nadia, Pak Mr. Kevin. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon.
Jadi guru itu
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Nurul dari SMP Model Ariyat Insan Cendekia Bekasi. Di sini saya mengajar bahasa Inggris. Kesan pertama menggunakan LMS Atlaz. Sangat penasaran dengan isi dari materi-materi yang diberikan oleh tim Atlaz dan juga tentang worksheet-nya terlebih itu. Karena ketika menggunakan LMS Atlaz ini tidak hanya materi yang mudah dipahami oleh para siswa, tetapi juga memudahkan kita sebagai teachers terkait tentang resort-resort di skill listening seperti itu. Kesan positif dari anak-anak pun juga saya dapatkan ketika mereka menggunakan LMS Atlaz maupun buku dari tim Atlaz sendiri. Anak-anak menyampaikan bahwasanya bukunya itu sangat menarik karena banyak gambar, banyak video-video yang nanti bisa mereka putar di LMS-nya. Jadi ketika anak-anak belum paham materi-materinya di sekolah, ketika kita berdiskusi bersama dari penyampaian materi dari saya sebagai guru bahasa Inggrisnya, mereka bisa mempelajari kembali dari LMS di rumah masing-masing. Seperti itu. Overall dari saya untuk Atlaz, LMS-nya memang good job.
Halo, nama saya Lia, saya guru kelas 5. Saya juga mengajar berbagai macam disiplin di Sekolah Cikal Jakarta. Dari yang sudah saya lihat, buku-buku Atlaz itu mudah sekali dipelajari buat anak-anak usia sekolah dasar karena satu, gambarnya, ilustrasinya sangat membantu anak untuk memahami materi pelajaran yang disampaikan, lalu kemudian pelajarannya disampaikan secara berstruktur, jadi mudah buat guru ataupun buat anak-anak. Kemudian untuk LMS-nya ini juga memudahkan sekali ya. Tadi dari kita bisa lihat semuanya sudah lengkap. Buat guru tuh tinggal langsung ajar aja untuk produk Atlaz karena sudah ada asesmennya juga sudah lengkap, evaluasinya dari awal, strukturnya, kuisnya bahkan sudah dipersiapkan sehingga anak-anak juga lebih interaktif dan ini bisa disampaikan hybrid online dan offline. Yang juga menariknya dari buku Atlaz adalah sekarang dia sudah disesuaikan dengan kurikulum Merdeka yang pada tahun ajaran ini akan segera dimulai. Juga untuk bagi mereka yang menggunakan Cambridge dan ID kurikulum semuanya sudah disesuaikan, jadi sangat direkomendasikan. Apalagi buat saya yang pakai berbagai macam sumber.
Here we are at the Galactic Cup, where we have the boys against the girls. The scoreline is currently 2-2, and with only 1 minute left of extra time, we can expect a very intense match. Now we have Lulu on the ball, and she's running up front.
Out of my way! I'm gonna score this one!
Oh, no one can get past my defense. Oh no!
This is my chance!
Lulu takes the score. Louis couldn't catch the ball since he didn't anticipate the gravity level. The score is now 3-2 for the girls.
We're behind 2-3. This is not good.
What's the play now, Max?
Take the ball and run to the front as fast as you can.
What are they planning? Don't worry, I'll stop them.
And now we have the boys on the ball. It is going to be very interesting to see how they will respond to the goal by Lulu. Otto is on the run, is running very fast on the touchline. Max is running to the penalty box to give Otto an option. Otto sees him and makes the cross.
Oh no, I can't see clearly.
Goal! Max scores the equalizer! Zoe couldn't see the ball because she lost her glasses, and Max took the shot. It is the end of the extra time, and we continue to the penalty shootout.
Halo teman-teman, perkenalkan saya Sarah Swaib. Saya mengajar bahasa Inggris di SMP Islam Al-Azhar 44 di Bekasi. Untuk buku Atlas, seneng banget saya. Pertama pasti amazed sama buku yang newbie, tapi udah punya konten yang amazing. Pertama, keunggulan dari Atlas itu adalah penokohan, jadi characters, dan itu akan memudahkan anak-anak mengingat pelajaran-pelajarannya. Yang kedua, Atlas itu bikin layoutnya juga menarik dari segi color sama penempatan. Dan yang ketiga, dia punya urutan konten buku dalam pembelajaran itu yang juga menurut saya challenging, tapi juga bisa diikuti oleh semua kalangan. LMS-nya juga begitu. LMS-nya menyediakan banyak platform dan media untuk memudahkan dan membantu anak-anak belajar, sehingga kalaupun mereka punya kesulitan dalam satu bahasan, mereka bisa mengulangnya kembali di media-media yang disediakan di LMS-nya. Good job.